This episode was recorded on stage here at Rochester Lapidary Studios, home to the Astro Network. The stationary astronauts just want to send out so much gratitude to you for tuning in for 3 years. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary. Now, it wouldn't be what it is without you believing in us and continuously tuning in. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for making all of this possible. I never would have taken the leap to become what I have become as a man if it weren't for your support. Who knows where I would have been? I am so thankful for you, and I can't stress that enough. Anyone who's ever grabbed clothing from us, who's ever came to an event, who's ever just shared any of our videos or our shows, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I honestly cannot stress that enough. Thank you to all the support. Thank you to my man Corey and Seth who helped me build this studio. Anyone who helped me move stuff in. Brian Clary from Clary's Woodworking for making me my office table, the launch pad. Thank you to Todd Satry for hooking it up with the leather chairs. Thank you to Todd Owen from Top Shop of Rochester for making us our Astral Network backdrop. And thank you to all the artists who have work displayed here in the studio. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your belief. I honestly cannot stress it enough. Thank you to Cheryl's for supporting me. Thank you to Rochester Lapidary Jewelers, Adam over there, for supporting me and being a studio sponsor. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who has just reached out and said, you know what, I see what you're doing, and congratulations. Thank you to the hundreds of people I've been lucky enough to sit down and talk to. Thank you so much. Thank you to Timmy and Dave for always repping and sticking by my side through the growing pains. We've had so many of them, but I really feel like we're out of the fetus stage now. We are now a wobbly 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and things are shaping up. The Astral Network is going to be producing so many shows, creative shows that are going to be providing you a new source of entertainment, and I truly believe that. Along with that, we've also got so many consulting gigs coming up and ad services that we are going to be providing with people. People don't know that myself and Caleb Vandeman from SocialWorks, we've been running sales funnels for companies that we've partnered with. It's how we sell out our events. We're going to be doing so much creative and providing so much of that coming out of this studio, and it's going to take shape. We're honestly still, like I said, growing. Stationary Astronaut has become just one pillar underneath the Astro Network. We just recorded our first one-off performance with my man Nerd D. You know, we're going to be doing that with acts that we book and we bring in as well. We're also going to be bringing in comedians to do one-off performances. One-off is where they tell a story and then they record that song live in studio that is based on the story they told. Now with Nerd D, we did it a little bit differently. Given the circumstance, we kind of did it like a talk show where he came, sat down with us, and then he got up, we moved stuff, and got the lighting right, and then filmed multi-angle for his performance. We're not unveiling too much right now because we are still figuring out our proof of concept. And honestly, anyone who's ever done anything epic, you have to understand that like there's a reason for pilots. You have to get the growing pains out of the way because we're not going to be a 3-year-old for very long. We are going to grow up rather quickly. We just need to get the proof of concept down. Same thing with the show we're working on called Counterculture. That's going to be a foodie type show. I'm so excited for that one as well, but we do have to get the proof of concepts in and down And that way we can, professionally produce them, but we need to know what not to do first. So be patient with us, but I'm so excited to be providing to you these shows. And it all started with, just a weirdo wanting to have conversations with interesting people. And look at what it's become. Now we have people who financially believe in us. And that's saying something because, I'm not going to say their name, but it was like the first few months we had this thing going and they told me I wouldn't get paid from this. And the joke's on them because now we've turned it into a business. We're just dialing in the model right now while still continuing to do what I already do in regards to the services I provide, where we can creatively rebrand your company. We can top to bottom too. Like today, we just had a conference call with Sun Butter and my boy Zach Howland, who is he's a savant when it comes to dialing in automation, sales automation on the back end with things like Shopify, Amazon Prime, stuff like that. That was a very productive meeting, and Zach's going to get the gig, and we are going to be hopefully doing more work with Sun Butter as well. They're a company that is steadily growing, and it's for people who have, peanut allergies. Sun Butter is your solution, and we're hopefully going to be able to tell their story. And it all starts with telling your story clearly. I'm not doing the best job right now for the Astro Network, but that's because the story is still being written. You are going to see as the year unfolds, so will the clarity and the vision behind Astro Network. I know where I want to take this thing. You just need to let me write this story first, and then we're going to tell it to the world, and I promise you that. Thank you to our studio partner again, Rochester Lapidary Jewelers. Thank you to everyone who played a role in this. This episode with Timmy is very heartfelt, with a little comedy on the side. We recorded it shortly after Kobe Bryant died, who was both of our heroes. So, we went deep, and I'd really like everyone to keep subscribing, but also rate and review these shows. It helps us out so much. And, maybe go grab some gear from stationaryastronaut.com if you feel so inclined. I know that's kind of like a passive-aggressive push to go do it, but go get yourself some gear. Got some new Astral hats, and we're also going to be throwing a ton more merch on there. We're going to have custom stuff coming out later this year as summer unfolds. We're going the custom route, folks, and who knows, you might get some fanny packs around your waist. Real nice like. So, without further ado, the Stationary Astronauts are back, baby. Enjoy the show.
And I'm gonna be high as a fucking man.
And now, the Stationary Astronaut.
Yo, we made it.
We back. Can I say that?
Well, I mean, we've been back.
We're back in a new place, though.
We still exist.
But we haven't been around.
We're on stage now.
We are on stage.
Built a stage.
You built a stage.
Yeah, I thought, let's level up.
We definitely are leveled up.
Yeah, we got a logo behind us now, so that's cool. A lot of things have happened.
Speaking of that logo, that's a dope logo because there's so much that's going on with that logo.
It's really just a matter of the A inside the circle is the sign of anarchy. And when I brought this idea to Luke Austin, I really didn't intend it to be like that, but it shaped up to be, well, we are the anarchists of media. We are the people who are here to reshape the way people perceive it. Not like we're going to do evil deeds and start throwing fired bottles inside windows. No, not by any means. We are just going to reshape the way people perceive online media.
And it starts now.
And it starts now. So recently, we lost our hero. And we haven't had a chance to really talk about it on the air. We all went back and forth day of. We were just in shock. Then we saw everything play out. How do you feel about what transpired after the death of Kobe, Gigi, and those 7 others?
Well, so I think myself, just like everybody else, because you're the one that broke the news to us, to the group chat. And even though I believe everything that you say, instantly I went to Twitter, and I seen it, but then I still was kind of like, nah. Then I started reaching out to other people, nah. So like it still hasn't hit me, but with what's transpired, whether it's been like who's that comedian? Ari Shafir. Shafir. Yeah, I mean, tasteless. Mm-hmm. Once again, you had people going out online posting, saying things, not fact checking, and it's gotten to the point where people have moved on to stuff so fast that there's really not a too soon anymore. I mean, the amount of jokes. I feel like you had a combination of people that were confused at the fact that everybody was so obsessed and idolizing this guy, but then you had people also going, well, he did this back in 2003, or something along the lines where, well, him as a person wasn't the day of. I mean, at what point in time do you say, hey, you know what? Let the man have his flowers at least for one day? Because, I mean, I don't understand why society is the way that they are now, because I felt like years ago when stuff like that happened, people actually mourned. Now it's like nobody cares. Really, I mean, what happened with Nipsey almost a year ago? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, it's not only Kobe, it's his daughter and 7 other people. So I don't care how you feel about Kobe. What about the 8 other people? But I mean, how'd you feel? I mean, what's running through your head?
Well, people fail to realize that Kobe Bryant was someone who his work ethic was a form of a father figure for me and many others who grew up without father figures. He showed me what it took to be great. He was that person I idolized in my number 8 jersey in the driveway every single day. Every single day. I had a very obsessive personality. And that's probably why the likes of Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan radiated with me, because of how obsessed they were with their craft. You see how I operate to this day. I am very obsessive. That's because I am competing with myself while understanding if I'm working while others are asleep, that is what will propel me forward. So when I see a man who I idolized as a spiritual figure, because that is the epitome of someone who knows how to dig deep, someone who plays that kind of role in your life to get their name ran through the dirt while their body is still warm, shows me who you really are, which is a dark vessel radiating on this planet, trying to take the ones who are trying to remain positive and yank us down to your level of existence. That right there shows me where we're at as a society. For people who say they want to be positive, but they're unable to forgive. We don't expect people to forget, but the ones that are unable to forgive, when someone did not continue to act in a certain way, This isn't about Kobe. This is about me. I have done dirt, but I have done good, so I am not remembered by doing dirt. Whatever happened to the road to redemption? People who are on the up and up still can't catch a break? What does that say about society and where people's heads are at? That shows me true colors, who I can even be around. Ari Shaffir made his bed. That dude's already losing money.
He's done for. He's been dropped.
Yeah, his management dropped him.
As they should.
Ari's always been that type to come out too soon,
Tasteless.
but at least be funny.
Tasteless. Yeah.
And when you have a figurehead like Kobe Bryant, who was just hitting his second win, 41 years old, already won an Oscar, he was about to take the world by storm in a whole different way. Not to mention his daughter was going to go to UConn, help them go on a 34-0 undefeated season. That's what Gigi was going to do. She was going to be the next Maya Moore. And for that to be cut off too soon, and for Ari to come out and say, oh, I didn't know there was kids involved. Bullshit, man. Like, take a break. Take a step back. Understand that shock comedy isn't always worth it.
And see, exactly what he did is exactly what the problem is with society, because eventually what happens was people who knew nothing about anything came out the woodworks, and then they wanted to capitalize. And that's why we always talk about cancel culture. We always talk about those kind of people where, hold on, you have nothing good to say about the man at all, but you really want to attack the fact that something that happened back in 2003, that was 17 years ago. So between then and now, the amount of stuff that he's done with the rings, with the philanthropy, all that stuff, why are we talking about a night in Denver? On like, the body's still warm. And you also go back to saying, these are the same people when we talk about the road to redemption. Is this what we want from people? Because what's going to happen is you and I have made mistakes. We'll continue to make mistakes. But we're learning from those mistakes that we've made, and we're trying to become better people. That's how people should be looking at things versus the fact I instantly should have just been like, it didn't even cross my mind about the whole 03 Colorado situation. But people should have looked at it saying, man, that man has come a long way from that one stupid night.
Bravo. Bravo.
You would think.
Mm-hmm.
And the list goes on. I mean, there's outside of just Kobe. I mean, it's one of those things now where everybody does that to everybody. I mean, I remember years ago when this lady was talking about Jay-Z. Well, he sold crack. Okay. He had to do that at that time to get to where he's at now.
Who I hurt for are the sexual assault victims who are really taking the story that wasn't, the dark story that wasn't told about Kobe, and they're taking that and running with it at this time when an opportunity has been given with his untimely death. And I keep going back to perspective. So anyone who's ever been victimized, myself included, as I've grown spiritually, I have always hoped and prayed and just had the best outlook for my victimizer. You get my drift?
Yeah.
I want them to find it in themselves to heal, because hurt people hurt people.
Yep.
So when people have been hurt, I feel so much for them because I want them to find it in themselves for it to be okay to heal. Mm-hmm. Because when the death of someone who was accused of rape dies and that triggers something inside of you, well, it shows me that you have not taken the steps to heal. And I want that for you because I want this planet to heal, because we're in a very dark place right now. So when hurt people, that means dark people want others to be dark with them. Energy vampirism.
Yeah.
So I try to look at it from all perspectives, but the thing is, on the surface, it is people who are hurt trying to make others feel their pain. So I have to look at it like that. And you want to know what? As much as we hate it, as much as it grinds our gears, that's the only way we can perceive it. So how do we go about with the conversation? People will try to shapeshift your hero. Unfortunately for them, I'm calloused. I'm rock solid, baby. That man played a role in my life that he didn't play in yours.
You can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell me nothing. So, me being sound with who I am, where I am in life, understanding where you're coming from, it ain't going to work, baby. It ain't going to work.
And see, and that's another thing too, where it's just the role that he played in your life and my life and the majority of the people that we know personally is not the same role that he played in someone else's life. Allow us to appreciate the fact that he essentially, we grew up with Kobe, right? Like that day when we were FaceTime and we had grown men crying on the phone, it was just one of those things where it's like, not only was he our idol, he was like our brother. We never met the guy, but it was one of those things where when we were in school shooting hoops, out front shooting hoops, in the office shooting hoops, crumping the paper, Kobe, he was right-handed. But you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things when you think about that, that stays with you.
They talk about the Mamba mentality.
Exactly.
And that's what raised me. Back to my point. Buddha was a mentality. There were multiple Buddhas, okay? There will be, like, Kobe was a preconceived reincarnation of Michael Jordan because of his mentality. And then they do the side-by-side videos, and it was uncanny.
Man.
The moves. You get my drift?
Man.
That's what's going to take place, is the silver lining will be there will be another Kobe Bryant someday who's going to work just as hard, who is going to be as driven, who is going to have his back against the wall. Doubters are going to be surrounding him or her. But that mentality is a wavelength that can be tapped into. Just like Buddha, just like the Mamba mentality.
Do you think he should have like an award? Not like an MVP award. Obviously, there's the MVP because like you said, the Mamba mentality. Like, who embodies the Mamba mentality? That should be an award because what happens now, especially with the league, you have the load management. You have the guys that don't play the back-to-backs. Kobe, like as crazy as it sounds, what happened with Kobe? Kobe would have been like, "All right, man, we're playing today. All right, we're playing the next day. We don't got to cancel nothing because that's how his mentality is." And he's one of those guys where, and I listen to him more now than ever. And it's so bad that we do that because it's like we don't appreciate it when they're there. But then when you start listening to the kind of stuff that he's been saying for all these years, he's going, yeah, man, I'm at the gym at 4:00 in the morning. The next person wants to get to the gym at 10:00 in the morning. That's not how I'm built. And then I have some of my teammates say, oh, well, let's step out the night before. And Kobe's like, matter of fact, okay, I'll step out with you because that's what you want to do. And then the next morning he calls him up. He goes, all right, let's go to the gym. Come on, man. No, it's my turn now. You know what I mean? But like that's the kind of guy that he is. So do you feel like the NBA, because they talk about doing the logo, but I mean, which I don't see that happening. I really don't.
As an organization, as a corporation, they have to come to an unbiased conclusion. Unfortunately, yes, that's what we would want, but that would be a very biased conclusion. The NBA logo has been what it has been for a very long time. I believe Jerry West is the logo.
He is.
So to immediately jump on that would be too soon.
And he's still alive.
It would be very biased. Because you're talking about there will be uproar, especially in today's cancel culture. There will be an uproar that's like people freaking out about Michael Vick being acknowledged as a football player during the All-Star game on Sunday. Man, people came out of the woodworks for that one. Notice how they just simmered down while the guy justice is served. He goes to prison. Okay, he comes out. He ends up having a couple phenomenal seasons for the Eagles. I know he played for the Jets as well. And where were they? Where were they? They just went silent. And that's the thing is people pick and choose when they want to be offended. And that's got to die because it means it's all about you when you want to be offended instead of actually being distraught and trying to seek justice in your own right.
Like when you get offended by the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have been around for many years. Now they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Now all of a sudden, I'm offended by that. So you're offended now because they're going to the Super Bowl? Or have you always been offended, but now you just want to choose to speak up? What is it?
That's the craziest one is people trying to cancel logos, right? And warrior chops. The North Dakota Fighting Sioux had to change their name to the North Dakota Sioux. That one I kind of understand, but the people don't really acknowledge the dark history where the Comanches, the Sioux, my family's from Lakota Sioux tribe, where they were a warring tribe, okay? They weren't just fighting with the white man. They were on a land grab. The Comanche would roll in, they'd rape and pillage, and you were either going to join them. They had like basically a blueprint of who they killed. They would kill like any male older than 10, and they would kill all the, they would just basically wipe out history for these other tribes. And then they would keep kids that were like a certain age and things like that, and women that were fertile. But they were rapers and pillagers as well, man. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to start forgetting our history, well, a point I made was why don't we push for the renaming of all professional sports teams to native names? Because if we're going to get rid of an X-nay, man, that's the white man winning.
And they'll be forgotten.
Exactly.
Forever.
So what point is trying to be made here? Oh, it's out of respect. Well, we got to get rid of the good old days. The good old days are gonzo, man. The majority of people are good people. I'm so tired of this cancel culture, expecting the worst out of people. When you have consumers at a Kansas City Chiefs game doing the warrior chop, that is as a unit. That is a collective. They're going to battle on the football field. Same thing down at Florida State. That is tribalism to its finest, where those boys who aren't getting paid at all are going to war with the University of Miami, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. They're going to war.
They rep that logo hard.
They rep that logo. There's pride to it. So if you want to call that racism, oh boy, you better redefine what you even consider as racism.
And who's actually making the call on what is racism, what is not?
Me as a white man, I can't say it.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
I can't. But here's the deal. People fail to realize, like, culturally what I grew up with. And I have a perspective through experience because I've seen it firsthand. And all my best friends are minorities. But I can't say that. You get my drift?
Yeah, no, I know.
All the while, they won't skip a beat if I go on a rant to go at KROC, to go at Town Square Media for their race mongering and their race baiting stories they do, with how they word things when a minority is shot. But the minorities will hop on my bandwagon when I go at these companies. You get my drift? So do you want me to be a voice or do you not? Because through my upbringing, I've gained perspective. And unfortunately for them, they don't understand how callous my skin is.
What's been the biggest hurdle for you, though? Because, it seems like you've gotten to a point where you have to tone things down. And I don't think, I know you, so I know you're not toning things down just for the simple fact of, for them, I really feel like you're toning things down for your personal self. Am I wrong?
Yeah, because I value sanity. So I understand how cancel culture works where these...
You can't win with them.
You can't win with them because they are so set in their ways and they're biased. So me, I'm like water. So you can, if you educate me, I talk with enough specialists where I'm malleable. Okay. I am water. You can educate me. I learn and I soak it up. And then I'm a new person.
You're a sponge.
You know, I'm a sponge. Wax on, wax off, baby. But the thing is you have these people who are so set in their ways. I will not exhaust my energy beating my head against a wall and conversing with you. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm not going to have a battle of egos with you.
Like you said, you're banging your head with no cranium. No support whatsoever. So, I mean, you're going to lose that battle every single time. But then with these kind of people, though, this cancel culture, truly, there's no need. I mean, if you're trying to get in back and forth on Facebook or any type of social media platform with these people, you're wasting your time because they've had their mindset on something. And regardless of what you say, it doesn't even matter. And so when it all boils down to it, there's certain situations like that. Like you said, you have history behind all this. You know the background with the Native Americans. So like if you spoke out and said something, we're going to value what you say. You have people out here that know nothing about it that want to say that's offensive. And that's where we just talked about this a couple of days ago where we were saying when people are always speaking on behalf of veterans, were you a vet? Why are you speaking on behalf of a veteran when you were not a vet yourself? So like who are you to say that that's offensive to them or offensive? I'm black, as you can see. Don't tell me what is racist or don't tell me something. Exactly. I am black, right? And so it's one of those things where I don't need somebody telling me to be offended by something. I got it. I know.
What really grinds my gears is when white people feel they need to represent black culture and call out culture appropriation. Where, hold on a sec. My friends, my partners that are minorities are too goddamn busy to be offended by bullshit like that. When people start trying to go after employers because one of their employees wore a certain headdress on Halloween, you got too much time on your hands. You're choosing to be offended. That's a choice. If you stay busy and stay on the grindstone, head in the sand, getting things accomplished, you're too busy to be offended. And that's a personal choice. You either do or you don't. There is no in between. So if you are going to be offended, well, do some soul searching. Yeah. You have to understand that you're letting an outside source grind your gears and pull your heartstrings. It's a personal choice. Get my drift? Cancel culture has to be canceled.
Facts.
Because all it is the cliche, snake eating its own tail. Because what you're trying to get canceled today means your well-being will be canceled in the long run. It's Marxism.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Yeah.
That's why people are so hesitant on going full socialist.
Yeah.
Because eventually you end up with communism. And I understand where people are right now. And I am speaking so out of school right now. But we were talking about Jeff Bezos made $13 billion in like 24 hours due to stock rises. We're talking a man who only owns 18% of his company I think it's like a $2 trillion company now, okay? He owns 18% of this company. The guy makes that kind of money. He should be a socialist. Get my drift?
Oh, yeah.
Bill Gates got to the point where he's like, yo, let's start taking care of humanity now.
Correct.
I've just got too much.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Jeff Bezos has foundations and things like that so he can write off on taxes. He paid zero in federal. You know, that can change.
13 billion in 24 hours. 13 billion in 24 hours.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. I saw this number. No, for someone, just a normal person to someday make $1 billion, they'd have to make like $5,000 a day for the rest of their life, not spend any and invest all of it to, I think it wouldn't be $1 billion. Like you'd have to make a gross amount of money to get to 1 billion and not spend any of it, which means none of us will ever get there, which is okay. Okay. Yeah. You got to make, actually, I think it was like $25,000 a day for the rest of your life. I don't know how the numbers shake out, but it's like you have to make moves and then you got to buy out more people's moves like Jay-Z. So you literally have to capitalize on markets and start buying out everything just to get your worth at 1 billion. You get my drift?
Yeah.
Even these billionaires, like, they just have money spread out in so many places. They are worth that much due to the equity they hold.
And this is going to sound crazy. I mean, that's money that I personally wouldn't ever even want to see. And the reason I say it like that, because it's one of those things where if I have that much money and I'm not figuring out ways to spread that money around, what am I doing exactly?
They did a study on billionaires' kids. And like 40% of them end up as dope fiends and depressed.
Why do you think that, though?
What's that?
Why do you think that? Because they're spoon-fed?
Well, perspective. They've only had a warped perspective that isn't the reality for 99% of us. Because when you have grit and you have to build character through that grit, that is where their perspective is shaped to love everybody because you have an instilled empathy within you. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And from that comes growth. So when you're born in a multi-billion-dollar household, growth is always going to be stagnant. I feel bad for trust fund babies. They have to do the kind of soul searching the majority of us will never have to do.
Yeah.
Perspective, man.
But that's where, like, when you run into those trust fund babies, you can't connect with them at all. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's like you're talking to a wall, where it's one of those things where they don't understand why you do the things you do. You know, like, they don't really understand what your true purpose is. They can't relate with you in any way, shape, or form. But then again, it's not their fault.
There's a forced blockade up.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for him. That's why I keep saying I feel bad. I go back to this time down in Peru. It was my second year down there. And my man, he was down there. He owns an agency in New York. And he's got Oscar winners on his docket that he manages, right? And it was the last night. And by the last night of a 5-ceremony week, that's pretty much party time, where it's like everyone's opened up and you're tapped in, and it's kind of this group energy where it's just a glow, right? This dude was in the fetal position crying to his mommy. And we're talking a guy who's got buku dollars. He flies wherever he wants, whenever he wants. And he's suffering. When I saw that, I was like, this is 2016. When I saw that, though, I said to Matt, one of the shamans, I was like, man, I'm the brokest one in this room. But I am healing. I said something along those lines, and he tapped me on the chest. He's like, Nick, you're spiritually rich. That's all you need. Because I saw all these rich people suffering. Mm-hmm. And to hear that coming from a spiritual warrior, it taught me so much. And it taught me where I need to go and how I need to vibrate and to tap into that Mamba mentality. So when I'm at the gym at 10:45 at night, they're shutting off the lights, and I got 5 minutes left on my 35-minute elliptical ride. You know what I'm saying? Balls to the wall. I'm already on resistance 7. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I keep playing back. I'm doing this because other people aren't right now. I'm doing this because other people aren't. I'm spending the hours in here because other people aren't. I'd finish one operation on this thing, and then I'd go sit on that couch, and I'd just sit there for 45 minutes. Nothing going on, no lights, nothing. And I'd just sit there, and I'd just mind melt. What is going to be the next move? You get my drift? How can I grow this thing? And who can I connect? And when the universe starts connecting us with one another to the point our two producers are came from the same dance group and we didn't even know it. But you know what I'm saying? That's the universe talking. And it's a beautiful thing. So when you and I get separated, we're not separated. Astrally, we're still connected. Mm-hmm. You get my drift? Mm-hmm. And that's why I listen to my dreams. And when you put marijuana down, your dreams just start coming in uber vivid. My dreams talk to me, and I take so much from them.
What does that mean when you listen to your dreams? I don't have dreams. I don't know about you guys. I hardly have dreams. So like, what do you mean by like when you listen to your dreams?
Man, I feel bad for you.
You don't have dreams either, right? Yeah, see, I really don't.
Dude, we got to open y'all up. Yeah.
I have nightmares. I wake up. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not communicating to anybody in the dream.
Dom, you've told me about some of yours. Bro, we got to get you guys on that ayahuasca.
We actually talked about that. We actually thought about channeling that for this episode.
We got to open up that third eye because y'all pineal gland is calcified.
No,
God damn.
So what do you mean? Like you're having a conversation with yourself, having a conversation with...
It's your subconscious coming to the surface.
Really?
Yeah, so it's things that we like might think about deep down or might not fully process and they need to come to the surface. I'm definitely not the person. Jerema Silva could definitely pinpoint the
So nothing
the
about this is
why.
frightening at all to you, the fact that you're having conversations? Because like Dom is saying, I think him and I are saying the same thing. The moment that I start talking to myself, I instantly think it's a nightmare and I wake up.
You got to let go, baby.
It just doesn't seem normal.
Trying to be in control. Got to let go.
But so now, you said you put down marijuana. So is this something that happened since you put down marijuana, or has this always been happening?
No, I've always had dreams. It's just when you put down marijuana, they start coming through a little bit more vivid and continuously. I've always had dreams. I was told by Sylvia Brown. Actually, my family was told by Sylvia Brown, who's like this world-leading psychic. This is at the Target Center. I was locked up down the street in Hennepin County in Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. My aunts, my mom, my sister, they all went down to see Sylvia Brown at the Target Center while I was locked up. Sylvia Brown starts channeling. And she starts telling this inside joke that my sister and my dad had regarding Skittles and the rainbow and however detailed their inside joke was. And she kept going like this. She was reeling like a fishing pole. Mm-hmm. And my dad was a Bassmasters fisherman. So my sister stands up. She's like, yeah, I think he's here for me. That's my dad. She walks up to my sister and just starts channeling what my dad was saying, that he's fishing with my Grandma Wren in Atlantis, and Grandma Wren was my mom's mom who died. Mm-hmm. He leaves Grandma Lou, his mom, at shore because she gets on his nerves. And if you knew my Grandma Lou, it was to a T. Mm-hmm. And my Grandma Wren was the artist of the family. She's the one who had the art studio here in town. Mm-hmm. So he starts telling my family that I know Nick's in trouble right now. Let him know that I'm here for him. And they didn't tell her shit, might I add. Mm-hmm. Let him know that I'm here for him and I'm going to talk to him in his dreams. And I'll never forget, this is fucking crazy, like probably 3-4 years later, the night before Thanksgiving. This is like, 2014, 2015, right? Mm-hmm. The night before Thanksgiving, my dad comes through. Mind you, he doesn't really come through in my dreams. Mm-hmm. He came through and we were fishing in Atlantis together. I was on his boat with him. And I look around the clearest water. It's like Bahama type water. And he was just like telepathically talking to me. Like, I see where you're going and I'm very proud of you. I was sober, I'm very proud of you. I just want you to keep going. And that's all I needed. When you have something as trippy as that happen in your life, where these fateful instances just start falling into place, you can't unlearn that shit. So it's my duty to take those messages and bring them here to the third dimension so people can hear these stories and they can take out of it what they will. Mm-hmm. But what you can't take from me is the fact it happened. And it is my reality. Yeah. It's changed my existence.
Do you believe you have to lose somebody to step your game up?
Tragedy always brings on growth.
Because, I mean, like when we come back full circle with this whole thing that's been going on lately, I mean, it feels like people have stepped their game up, but for how long? You know what I mean?
That's for them to decide.
Because, like, for you made a decision before the whole thing even happened, and it just seems like it's going to sound bad, but the moment that this has happened, now you're 10Xing it.
Yeah. The death of Kobe was a blessing for me in my life personally. I lost a father figure, another one, and I needed that to happen. I have already, my gym locker, for instance, is always number 24. 24 hours in a day, Boomtown Nella's number, Kobe's number, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where I have to maximize and squeeze out all that juice within that day. So when I get 4 hours of sleep and I start my day here and I end my day here in the studio, that is where I'm putting in the work that you'll never be able to take from me. So anyone who thinks they're competing with us, you know, since we started our podcast coming up on 3 years on Monday, anyone who thinks they're competing with us has it twisted. Because they're the Jalen Rose. We're the Kobe Bryants. You can't take away the work I put in. Good luck.
Yeah, and it's evident here, as you can see right now, man. I mean, so just, I'm going to tell you this right now. So this week has been a week where the moment that I start to feel happy, I instantly think about Kobe. And then I tell myself, and you can help me out here real quick, but I tell myself, why am I happy? Kobe's not here. And I seen a meme like that too after the fact, and I'm going, am I the only, like, and I think a lot of people are obviously dealing with that because it's like, he diminished. It wasn't premeditated. It wasn't gone. Mm-hmm. How am I even remotely laughing or smiling about anything right now? Does that make sense?
Dude, why aren't we wearing shoes right now? We're up here in our socks.
Nobody has shoes on.
Everybody took their shoes off. Y'all are so respectful.
Well, it's your house.
Y'all are so respectful. This is the house that Kobe built.
We should really get a portrait.
Well, I've been looking at them. We're going to have my man from Top Shop who cut the A out for us. We're going to get a big 24 over there, I think. Backlight it, backlight it purple. Yeah, I think we could do that. Yep. We also got to figure out a place where we're going to, because this is technically Rochester Lapidary Jewelers Studios. So we need to
bling, bling.
Bling, bling. Some of that bling, 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 bling.
We got to start getting like princess cuts.
Yes.
Diamonds.
Yeah, so we've got to figure out where we're going to strategically place everything. But yeah, man, I think not to derail what you were saying, you deserve happiness, Timmy. And we talk about this quite a lot.
It's not even about me. It's about the fact that like I'm looking at you where I'm saying like what we're doing right now, this is amazing. And then it just comes back to just the fact that it can all be taken away. And that's the stuff right there that's hard for me to grasp because I'm just visualizing, seeing people are doing good, people are doing bad. Regardless, it's gone. Because like the biggest gripe is the fact that like when you think about certain people, you think they're immortal. And I can say that he was a person that was on the list of being immortal in my eyes, in your eyes too. So that's where if things can just end like that, I mean, what exactly are we doing?
Well, if we have time to question that, we need to be doing more. Life is finite, and maximizing each given moment is so important. That's why I tap into like the Jim Carreys of the world, who, when he's not acting, he is creating phenomenal art. We got Dominique over here. We got Ryan over here, where these dudes are always expressing themselves in one way, shape, or another. And that is God's gift. That means they're creative vessels. Get my drift? That's what I try to summon out of my own self. Always be creating something. So I've built this space so we can always be creating more. So we can literally be doing more. So my guys can come in here, set their cameras up, set up all the lights, and do a TikTok of a new dance they got coming up. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? We've created the space so you can shine.
Well, no, I feel bad for the people that don't know you, because everybody needs a person like you in their life, in their corner, because the beautiful thing with you is you're creating so much for the people around you, and you're really saying, guys, I will do the things that I need to do to create this. You guys take it and run with it. And that's where it's like you're constantly just putting so much on your plate, but getting it done to the point where it's like once you accomplish it, you move on to the next thing so effortlessly. And I'm just going like, we need more people like you, bro. And that's not even trying to like just big you up, but it's just like, it's remarkable how, bro, like, the amount of knowledge that you have in that head of yours, whether it's sports, whether it's history, it's remarkable. And then the amount of people that complain about not being able to accomplish one simple thing, it's just like, I don't know. It's wild to me, man. Like you're a dude that just, you essentially can do it all.
Yeah, that's on them. I just try to focus on myself, what I can get done today. And I am slowly learning that my mind state can't be cut from a cloth. You get my drift?
Oh, I know.
Just like Gary V.
Yeah.
Bro, there's only one Gary V. No one can hustle like that dude. You know? No one can hustle like that dude. So people try to be the next Gary V. Well, they're already swimming uphill backwards with weights on their ankles. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen. You have to be practical with who you are and the purpose. Try to do that. It's impossible, bro. Doing a backstroke uphill. First of all, there's no way to swim uphill because it ain't happening.
I can't swim
right?
regardless.
It ain't happening. So, oh, damn, Timmy. How are you going to put yourself out like that? I can't swim regardless.
You're talking about that. I can't even swim either way.
No, check this out. It's actually known that black people are just not as buoyant as other people. You guys are like stones in water. And how I found this out before I heard that statistic, we were up in my cabin, and my people who don't know, my second stepdad, who is still currently my stepdad, Sid, he's black.
Yeah, I know Sid.
And he's the man. But I watched him try to swim up at my cabin before we sold it back in the day. Wasn't happening. Wasn't happening. And this dude's a veteran, you know, it just wasn't happening. I don't know how we got through camp.
Bro, no, what was I going to say to you? No, so he did piss me off, though, because this dude won our fantasy football league this year and then turns back around and then we play poker. I didn't play poker, and then wins poker. And I'm sitting here looking at this dude. I'm like, you're winning way too much, bro. You're winning way too much. And then now you're trying to tell me that black people can't swim.
You said you can't swim, and I gave you a statistic.
And speaking
y'all just ain't buoyant. It's okay.
We're solid, bro.
No, it's okay.
Unreal. We're unreal.
We got to get you arm floaties.
That's not going to work, my G.
Well, they can't fit around your big ass fucking arms. Could you imagine Jimmy with orange inflatables, bro? Oh my God. Unreal would have to custom make you some, dude. Oh my gosh. Take all day to blow those things up. You hit me up. I'm still blowing on them at 9:00 at night.
Oh, dog.
No, but it just goes to show people have specific purposes in life. There are color commentators and there are analysts, strategic analysts.
Booger
McFarlane. He got fired, didn't he?
Did he really?
Yeah, he got fired.
You got Booger, because what you're getting, you got Booger McFarlane, you got Tony Romo.
Yep. And Tony Romo is
Savant.
all of the above. So Tony Romo is the Kobe Bryant at what he does. Okay? He's the MJ at what he does. Not just anybody can be, no school is going to teach you how to analyze like Tony Romo. Why is that? Because he had to put time in the rooms, studying, playbooks, coaching staffs. He was basically his own coaching staff, calling audibles. He probably was not vibing with Jason Garrett in some of those calls. And then just having a personality.
Well, speaking of that, though, man, who you got? Chiefs, Niners.
I got the Chiefs. Have to.
That's easy. I think it'll be a good game.
Well, it's the best matchup possible because the 49ers have arguably the best defense in the NFL. So why wouldn't you want the best offense to go up against the best defense?
You think it's going to be high scoring?
I've been thinking about that, and I could honestly see it being like a 24-21 game where it's struggle in the first quarter, maybe a couple touchdowns in the second quarter, maybe a struggle in the third, and then it comes down to the wire in the fourth. It could. That's how Super Bowls typically go.
Are you going to be eating chicken wings?
As long as there's not gluten involved. I can't have gluten. I'm allergic.
Since when?
Well, it's always...
We just made that up. What? Since
no,
when?
it's always been known. Like one of my cousins has really bad celiacs, and I learned... and today I have a gut biome specialist coming in on the show after us. It's, I just know when I cut it out of my diet that I feel so much better. My mental clarity is on point. My energy is on point, and my skin is way better when I don't eat gluten. And gluten's like a gum, dude. We shouldn't be eating that shit. And it's just it's wheat that is like basically lab made. We shouldn't be fucking eating in a nutshell, you know? And that's just my own personal choice.
I'm eating chicken wings with gluten. I'm telling you that right now.
Dude, to be honest, the chicken wings, I'm about to pile drive on Sunday. It's going to be perverted. The amount of bones I'm going to be feeding to my dog. Because that dude's going to get full on bones. Because I'm be peeling all the meat off.
Speaking of racist, that dog, if it's racist, I don't want to see that dog ever again.
He is very judgmental. Mailmen.
Dom, you don't want to see that dog.
Mailmen, he doesn't vibe with mailmen.
He likes you?
Yeah. I mean, but
really?
Dominique's got that spirit, though. Dominique's got that spirit, dude.
And I don't?
Well, Tim, you're this dude. You're a character, okay? Dominique's got this calm spirit. You got a character to you, Timmy.
So that makes it right for your dog to not like me.
Dogs feel energy.
Loops,
right?
meet this dog and let's see what happens, because you're a character as well.
Loops, you could be the bridge. You're the bridge. You and those athletic calves. You and those athletic calves. No, dogs feel energy. Bill Burr has an awesome joke about the mistake of watching football games with your dog, where you're screaming and then you're screaming at the TV and your dog's like, who we gonna go kill? And then you wonder why your dog runs across the street and attacks somebody.
Well, I actually just filmed this commercial where I was massaging a bulldog, and yeah, either way. But it was weird because like the trainer had to let Butch the bulldog know that like it's okay, and then everybody goes like, if you're tense, if you're heated, like the dog can sense that. I'm going, what am I doing? Like I'm legitimately massaging this bulldog.
All right, little aggressive. I would like to see, beyond you massaging it, I'd like to see the look on your face while you're doing it, because I get the feeling they would have had to keep stopping the take. Say, Timmy, quit making that fucking face, dude. Seriously, give us a normal face. You just be giving them a cockeyed look like,
Bro, I was afraid. I was dead afraid. What? Okay, wait till you see this. Wait till you see it. Okay, all right. Think I'm playing.
Bro. But check this out.
Talk to me.
So, ancestral trauma, right? They started learning this about people who are scared of spiders and snakes. Well, your genetic memory might be holding on to something that your ancestors went through. Well, when the Europeans were ravaging villages in Africa, maybe they came through with aggressive ass fucking dogs to wrangle up the slaves. that could be deep in your genetic memory that is actually coming to the forefront nowadays, and they're learning to understand it a little bit more. That could possibly be something.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
You know?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, science. Yeah. I'm just trying to pinpoint why you're a fucking scaredy cat, buddy. You know what I'm saying? We just got to figure this out, dude. We're going to do it together.
Nah, man. Come on, man. I was born in Africa, man. I ain't worried about no dogs.
Oh,
Come on, dog. Think I'm worried about some dogs?
oh shit.
Boy.
You ain't worried about no dogs.
Well, you seen Lion King, dog?
We're going to let the footage tell the tale.
I ain't worried about no dogs, man. You got the wrong one.
Yeah. What is your favorite Disney movie? We've talked about this probably from episode 1, way back in the day. What's your favorite Disney movie?
It was Lion King, but after the new one, I'm disappointed in it. So I'm going to go ahead. It's going to sound weird. A Goofy movie, bro. Yeah. I don't know. Disney Plus is a game changer.
It is.
What about you?
Well, mine would still be Lion King.
What'd you think of the new one, though?
I liked it.
Did you really?
I did.
I don't think it was the same. You didn't see it? Loops, what have you done lately? Good answer.
He points at the camera.
Nick won't let me do nothing right now.
I can't do anything else.
Nick, can I go get... No.
Get your ass back here. We've got work to do.
Dom, what's your favorite Lion King movie? I mean, a Disney movie.
Off the top of my head, without too much deep thought, I would actually agree with Goofy movie, I think.
See?
Is that where he's on the rollerblades?
Yeah.
He's on rollerblades, right?
That's a dope one, man. It's just like, and then there's Goofy movie 2, extremely Goofy movie. I don't know. Like, Disney Plus. Who has Disney Plus? Bro, you have to have Disney Plus.
I have a daughter. I have to.
I'll give you guys my logins. I mean, you guys will appreciate it.
It does. It brings you back down memory lane, and then you start discovering movies you forgot about that fall under the Walt Disney label.
Speaking of movies, have you noticed like movies now aren't really being creative anymore? It's like they're remaking everything.
That's very true. But here's the deal. I got a rebuttal to that. And it allows for the silver lining to show, which means the ones that are really good are really good. So they can sift through and they slide right through all the bullshit movies. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So, what was that one where, what's his name? Tyler Perry not Tyler Perry made it.
What's it about?
Not Jordan Peele. Was it Jordan Peele?
What's the concept of the movie?
Yeah. What's it called? Get Out?
Get Out? Us.
Get Out was awesome. Us is where like
The family on vacation, and then they had the
that was
other
creepy
version of them.
Yeah, that was creepy. It was another version
That's
of them.
different though, and I'm taking that over. I mean, I don't want to start talking about the Oscars and any of that nonsense because I mean, you start looking at that, you think we're back in 1996.
I mean, we'll see. I liked when remakes are done well. If they're done really well, I really like them. Like the one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. I really like
Bad Boys
that one.
4 or Bad Boys 3. It's 3 now. Bad Boys for Life. Yeah, Bad Boys 3. Have you seen that?
I haven't because I don't want it to ruin the other ones. They waited too long, bro.
Well, that's exactly what
Get
I
it while
said.
you can.
See, but the reason why I recommend that you have to watch it, it's one of those things where if you've seen the first two, I mean, the least you can do is finish it off. And they did a good job where they embraced the fact that they were old. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they weren't doing these other movies where it's like Lethal Weapon 4, you had Danny Glover trying to do stunts.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're 50, 60 years old. Nobody's buying this.
Yeah.
I think you'd appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, Timmy, it's the Astro Network, baby. Brought to you by Rochester Lapidary Jewelers Studios, the Astro Network. We are the stationary astronauts. Shout out to Unreal Co.
Let's go.
Shout out to Hive Clothing Company, my boys, go get these hats at stationaryastronaut.com. Our unofficial partner is Fiji. Our other unofficial partner is Red Bull. All we're using is Rode equipment, Rodecaster Pro, Procaster microphones. This is how we get down. We love it so much. Thank you to our producers / partners. Ryan Lupersong, the dancing savant with his athletic calves. Dominique Jones,
Let's go.
DJ, the man, the actor extraordinaire. This dude just got done with the Christmas Carol, right? Yeah, Christmas Carol. This dude's on stages.
It's January.
So we built him a stage. Now we're gonna make these two do a 2-man play. Yes. We're gonna make them do a short play.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's what we're gonna do.
We can start writing the skit.
Yes, we need it.
You know what's crazy? I did that for the Mayo Clinic for 6 months. It was me and another female, a 2-person skit. Getting paid. I saw that. Did you really? You? It was at the library, wasn't it? Yes, it was. That's wild. Oh my gosh, I'm old. But yeah. True story. All right, we're doing it.
We need our boys to give us a play. You can use puppets too. Yeah, puppets. Because Muppets?
No, we're not.
Mop heads?
No.
We can use mop heads?
Chia pets.
Chia pets? We have one right there. Can you bring that up here? Yeah, we got Bob Ross up in this. Here we go. Van of white.
Van of black.
Yo, we got Bob Ross. So we got to get this thing cracking. So we'll get it started today. And we'll just see how much progress we make on Bobby Ross. But we love you all. I can't wait for everyone to stay dialed in. We've got more shows coming up. I can't wait for Counterculture to kick off. That's going to be dope. We're going to go interview restaurateurs, share a meal with them, and tell their story along with the food we're eating. I'm excited about that. We tried the first go round last year.
Yeah.
Didn't really work out with how we were doing it.
No.
Set and setting just wasn't on point, but we're going to take this bad boy on the road. Our first one-off starts next Friday with Nerd, NURD. That's going to be a cool series. Smoke Machine gets in today. That's where the Tryptamine Palace kicks off. All the lights cut off. We just got nothing but the blue lights.
I got goosebumps as he's talking about all this stuff we got planned out.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting. This is going to be a network that is Astro Network. To explain it for people, is the umbrella company for everything creatively that falls underneath. So Stationary Astronaut, we're setting our pride aside. We're just going to have that be a leg for the Astro Network, along with other shows we're all going to be curating. Get my drift? Mm-hmm. And the whole point is, so we created a space so people can come in, bring an idea, and let's see if we're going to run with it. You know, I really like the idea of content creation and where we are with the internet. So let's start creating shows.
Let's go.
All right. Love you guys.